Indubitably. With this week in TCGs, number 10. And if you know this card, you might have been listening to somebody else's podcast. What game does this come from? Do you know? You probably don't know. Alright, anyway. We approaching, I'm at 249 subs right now. And I might just make it to 250 tomorrow, unless I lose some subs, which is just up and down when you're small like me. But anyway, I've got my contest giving away this box of Dragon Ball Super card game, Rise of the Unison Warrior. If you're one of my A1s since day ones, you've already registered. If you don't know, then maybe you still have a little time to get in on it. But if not, I'll have another giveaway coming at 500 subs. So just be aware. Anyway, we have a bunch of stuff popping off in the TCG world. Let's get it. Alright, starting it off. Disney Lorcana trading card game. The rules have been released. So Game Trade Magazine published a basic rule set and Game League expectations for Illuminator hopefuls. The game will be releasing in August 18th for the local game stores, and then about 2 weeks later, it'll come to your big box retailers. Alright, so the rules are pretty much Keyforge rules, but here's how it goes though. So when you have a creature on the field, a unit on the field, whatever you call them, you can do two things with the ready creature. Of course, things come in not ready. They've got things are themed around ink. So instead of calling it summoning sickness, we say we've got to wait for the ink to dry. All right, so first of all, when a creature is ready on the field, you can do one of two things with it, much like Keyforge. You can tap it to attack an already tapped creature, or you can tap it to get the win con of the game, which is questing for lore. As we can see, Captain Hook, when you tap him, exhaust him, he quests for one lore. In Robin Hood, in Maleficent, they tap for at least 2 or 3 lore. First to 20 lore wins the game. And so not every card is mana, but it looks like the vast majority of cards can be played as mana. So if they have this ink swirl looking thing right here like in their mana cost, you can play them into land row, the bottom row, and then they'll become mana. But if they don't have the ink swirl, which they call the ink well, then you can't count them for mana. You can't play them in land row. So most cards can be played for mana. And of course, attack right there. Their toughness, durability is right there. And 2 colors max per deck. That's why they come pre-packaged in 2 color decks. You can only have 2 colors in a deck. Yep, and you ready your characters at the start of the turn. And of course, there's persistent damage between turns, like a Fantasy Flight game is expected to have. But this is Ravensburger, but it's very much Keyforge. Alright, moving along. We have Magic the Gathering, March of the Machines. A couple things I neglected to mention on last episode. We have the backup and incubate keywords. We already went over the battle seeds. Alright, so backup. Reading backup. When this creature enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. On another creature. If that's another creature, it can be itself or another creature, but if it's another creature, it gains the following abilities until end of turn. Well, it gains Death Touch, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or battle, return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. So a lot of dredging with that one. So pretty much you can put the +1/+1 counter on itself or another creature, but if you do like another creature, then it gets more benefits, it looks like. And this one gives somebody flying, first strike, and lifelink, which is crazy. 5-drop, Bonebringer Valkyrie. And so this seems like it could scale up with more than +1/+1 counters. With more than +1/+1 counters, but so far we've only seen +1/+1 counters, they say. Alright, anyway, and then the incubate keyword. This incubate appears to be an ability that shows up on spells that create an incubator token with X +1/+1 counters, and then can be transformed into a creature. And let's just read the card. Exile target creature, incubate 3. Create an incubator token with 3 +1/+1 counters and add and spend 2 generic. Transform this artifact. It transforms into a 0/0 Phyrexian artifact creature. So it sounds like you gotta exile one of your creatures, then you incubate, and yeah, spend 2, then it goes crazy. Alright, yeah, so that is March of the Machine. Then we've got teen who laughed when asked for his preferred pronouns. Well, their preferred pronouns was booted from a Pokemon card tournament. This was a tournament right here. Alex Shemansky
so fast.
versus Makani Tran.
Yes, absolutely.
That's
what you're
Makani
going to
Tran.
see out of both of these players, Makani
teenager.
Tran and Alex Shemansky. Both players we've seen plenty.
And the big irony to me is that the kid is named Makani Tran. Tran is in trance. Even the trans can't get away with the pronoun stuff. Just kidding. Alright, so what happened was Makani Tran was out of $800, a couple of flights, and missed school time after he offended a non-binary Pokemon TCG judge. Not the other player, but the judge. Cutting his tournament run prematurely short for a bizarre reason, according to Dextero. The teenager in a tweet longer post that he never meant to says that he never meant to offend anyone and was close to tears when he was disqualified. Pretty much he broke out in nervous laughter after being asked his pronouns because he was nervous going up against one of the best Pokemon players. One time when I go to the airport, they gotta search me. And then sometimes they gotta search you, digging all around your pelvis and stuff. I've been known to break out in nervous laughter, like, what the hell are you doing? But yeah, be patient with the teens at least. Alright, but anyway, Haunted Castle Gaming in Genesis Battle of the Champions is unfortunately saying goodbye. Okay, Asid, the creator of Genesis Battle of the Champions, says, "Hey champions, it's always difficult to say goodbye to something you've put your heart and soul into. And unfortunately, after much deliberation and consideration, I decided to close down Haunted Castle Gaming Inc. and wrap up Genesis Battle of Champions. I tried so hard. This project has been 20 years in the making. Many people have a tremendous amount of blood, sweat, and tears into this company, and I'd love to show appreciation and admiration toward them all. From family to friends, communities, and store owners, you all made this happen, and I want to thank you. As a team and community, we persevered through the beginnings of the pandemic and powered through supply chain issues. We even went through the bubble of the Kickstarter craze for card games. Honestly, a million things were working against us, and we made it through quite a few of them." Alright, so yeah, like at the top of the year, Sid also made his own podcast, and then he was talking about at the end of March, he was talking about how, like, when he visits his family, he never has time to really visit with them, and he's always got to tend to business, and his work-life balance is crap. So, sucks. I mean, they're 5 years in, and 5 freaking years. It can't be understated. 5 years is not a short run, especially since for most years, we only released one set. Most artists don't get a chance to bring their projects to life, let alone build a community and sustain their projects for 5 years. So it surely did beat Code Oak's 2-year curse. They had store championships. In the end, I tried so hard and got so far. And in the end, and then he doesn't say it doesn't even matter. But, that's what some people are saying. But not me, though, because I bet, and I wanted to see it keeping on going. Well, yeah, and the next set, Invasion. We would like to see this set get to you in some form, either print and play through online platforms. I don't know how we'll do this, but some ideas are being formed. So probably won't get the retail release naturally, but you can probably print and play it. Which there's a whole bunch of print and play stuff on the site, and I made sure to download the links or whatever the files too, just in case if I want to print those out one day. Alright, but anyway, there's Genesis. Hate to see you go. Alright, then we have Keyforge. We had the highest selling Keyforge deck ever to be sold at, and if you didn't know, Keyforge is a unique deck game, so no two decks are ever alike. And then this particular deck named Pink Fraud, it sold for a whopping $3,600 US dollars. A great moment for Keyforge as a legendary deck changes hands. And a Keyforge deck which won 2 Vault Tours with the same pilot for sale. Administer Adam Inslang the Pink Fraud, commonly just called Pink Fraud. This deck changing hands is big news. The auction ends tomorrow, and there's one specific person I'm rooting for to purchase it. I don't know. There was a bidding war. I guess one of our big podcasts for Keyforge, Archon's Corner, they were trying to get it, but they had to drop out. They had to bow out to this heart surgeon who was bidding on the deck while actually performing heart surgery, I hear. So, I mean, what kind of litigation he might be up against, I don't know. But the doctor, he won it though, and then that's what's up for him. And then, but the deck though, it says that it has 33 wins and 10 losses. You think like a big expensive deck like that would never lose, but I guess it's always paper rock scissors though. But it didn't win 2 championships though for sure by the same pilot. And it has a 92 sass, and I've seen 94 sasses, and I think my friend has a 94 sass, but I guess this 92 sass is really good. And plus the story behind this is that it won the Vault Tour, it won the championships. Then one of the main logos cards, I think Library Access, got nerfed because this is a deck where you can pick up your whole deck and play with it. Play with it as a hand. But then anyway, it got nerfed, and then it still won the Vault Tour after that. So that's amazing. But yeah, 3,600 will get you a top of the line pay to win deck right there. Alright, and then some more Keyforge news. Let's check out. They've got the new 2-player starter set. Let's check it out.
Is that we will not change the design of this box from set to set. Instead, what we'll do is we have a sticker on the outside here that says contains Winds of Exchange decks. In the future, when we have current reminders, we'll reprint the same starter, same box, but we'll just change the sticker and the decks that are inside. As with the other 2-player starters that we've done in the past, this is going to contain printed rulebook and tokens that are needed. Retailers, if you're watching and you're interested in carrying this thing, it is going to be available through your regional distributor. And get one of these 6. All right, let's crack this sucker open for it. I'm excited and nervous. Very first thing on the top. Big QR code. What does it say? Halt. You don't need to read the rules. Scan the code to watch the video tutorial. This code doesn't work yet. I haven't finished making the video. But good luck trying to scan it. There's stuff on the inside
I've got
here
plenty of how to play,
kind
of sort of like.
Look at this.
That's the rule book. All right, and then the rules is mostly actually lore in the second half of the book, which includes a quick overview of what.
Okay, so continuing on. It's worth noting that the rules in here, the Learn to Play Keyforge rules, it is just the core rules of the game. There's nothing in here that is specific to Winds of Exchange. You won't find rules for token creatures in this book. This is the fundamentals of Keyforge. Yes. The Winds of Exchange specific rules are what's on the inside of this right here. So this is where you'll find
every set will have the extra
new tokens here are fancy new generic tokens. Very exciting. In 2 colors.
No need to find your own tune counters.
That's right.
They're on the card.
Generic tokens, that's a good idea.
You need to keep track of how many times it's grown. Generic counter. There you go.
I use generic tokens myself, so
this is one of the new learning decks. There's a second one
in there thinking that too.
Tune counter is included.
Numbered.
2 decks in there.
So go ahead.
All right, you get the drift. Right, and then we've got Legends of Runeterra. They've got a new expansion, the Glory in Navori expansion, released March 29th, and there's new mechanics. This is the 7th set that introduces rotation in the standard and eternal formats, just like Hearthstone did. So mana cheating coins, these type of coins, not to be confused with the currency of the game, but mana cheating coins, not just spell mana, but it can be used as even playing creature mana. So burst is instant, so they're thinking these things are kind of OP. Refill 1 mana, not just spell mana. And then we got 3 new champions. Jack, and let's read Jack. What does Jack do? Jack has Overwhelm and Brash, so excess damage dealt to the player to the Nexus. And Brash can only be blocked by enemies with 3 or more health. Okay. And then Strike, create 2 coins in hand. When you refill mana, grant me +1/+0 for each mana refilled. That's Jack. We got Samira. Samira, when I'm summoned or strike, create a flare in hand if you don't have one. And flare, what is a flare? I don't know what a flare is. And level up, I've seen you play 6+ cards, resets when you start a round with the attack token. And Samira, quick attack, quick strike, whatever, first strike. Yeah, so that's Samira. And we've got Set as the last one. Set. Challenger can choose which enemy unit blocks, okay? And a barrier negates the next damage the unit would take last 1 round. Okay, so like Ward. And the first time I would drop below 1 health while attacking, give me barrier instead. Nice. And you spent 40+ mana to level set up. Alright, so interesting new champions in Runeterra. Okay, going on to DC deck building game, DC Dual Force. What I neglected to mention last episode. Okay, DC Dual Force has few types of cards. The leaders. These are what they look like: Harley, Batman, Superman. They work off of charges. Yeah, so they work. There's 5 types of cards. There's 5 colors. Blue are tactic cards. Red is might. Green is energy. Orange is anarchy, and purple is tyranny. Gameplay: both leaders start in the back corners of a 3x2 grid. Most likely, both players get a 3x2 grid. But these charges on these guys, I'm believing you get charges at the beginning of like the upkeep or something. We still got to wait for all the details of the gameplay mechanics. But yeah, we have, and a shout out to Willow. He made all these diagrams and all that. But a 3x2 grid could look like this. Maybe both players are on a single 3x2 grid or vertically, but we doubt that. It's most likely both players get a 3x2 grid to start the game with their leaders starting in the corners. So one of those grid-based tactical TCGs. And there are 10 status effects in the game. Ambush. While attacking, cards with ambush deal damage first. First strike. Aura. The next time a card with aura would be affected by an enemy action, instead it loses aura. Ward or whatnot. Frenzy. After KOing a defender in the front row, cards with Frenzy will automatically attack the space behind it. So there's line of sight. That's a cool thing. So kind of like trample right there. Guard. Cards with guard must be the target of opposing attack regardless of position on the board. Hidden. Cards with hidden can't be targeted or attacked until they attack. Hunter. Cards with hunter ignore minion protection, guard, and hidden. Lethal. Cards with lethal, KO, death strike. Invincible. Cards with invincible can't be damaged or KO'd. Shield. The next time a card with shield would be damaged, instead it loses shield. And speed. Haste. Or swiftness. Then we have line of sight. Basically like Batman right there. He can see punchline, but he can't see Harley though. Or more than likely. And of course there's minions. They're less power, 7 power, 6 toughness. When an enemy blocking Gorilla Grodd is KO, draw a card. Start a turn, create 2 random spells in hand. Nice, but what kind of cost is he? And these things in the top left, like, bronze, silver, gold, they might have something to do with casting costs. Oh yeah, and you can do 2 actions every turn. So the actions are probably move, maybe draw a card, maybe attack, something like that. Probably auto draw every turn though, automatically. Most likely. Alright, so that's DC Dual Force right there. And then we have, okay, moving along, we have gem blenders. Let's check out this gem blenders video. I got a couple videos of gem blenders. Check those out, the full vids, going through the rules and the cards. Yeah, so you start the game with 4 heroes, and then you use gems that you attach to them.
Welcome to Gem Blenders, the
per
lo-fi
turn,
trading
most
card
likely.
game where you mix and match gems, explore blend synergies, and command your
turn them
heroes
into
to outwit
blends,
your
evolutions.
opponent. With each passing turn, the field becomes more colorful. Players piece together puzzles of gems, battling it out until one player emerges victorious. When your heroes gain specific combinations of gems, they unlock transformations called blends. The more gems your heroes gain, the more blends they unlock. With over 250 cards, Gem Blenders has an entire world to explore. Collect the cards, play with your friends, and enter the competition today.
Yeah, fully funded, very successful campaign. They wanted 20K. They're at 51K, 16 days to go. And, all right, so heroes. You start the game with 4 heroes. They never get discarded. They always stay on the field, but you can change the diamond pattern of them sometimes. And then when you get enough gems on one guy, then they become a blend from your hand. Say you have the orange and the brown gem on Carter, then you can turn them into Herald by just putting it from your hand on there. And guys, they typically attack whoever they're in front of, and any excess damage is trample. Whenever one guy loses all 20 of their HP, they lose the round. Best 2 out of 3 rounds wins the game. Something like Pokemon. Looks real cool. But yeah, check them out. And then on to Monsters Glare. Let's check those guys out. 5 days to go.
Hello,
16 days to go.
my name is Terrence McCraney, and I'm the creator of Monsters Glare TCG. So I had a whole musical number planned with a puppet and lights and music. And,
He's going to do it too.
well, it just felt like I was doing too much. So instead, I want to take this moment to share the story of how I created this game. In 2020, we all lived through one of the scariest times in our lives.
Talked about this
In
on
that
Ted's
moment,
Basement.
I had 2 options. I can either sulk in despair or I can be productive. Now, I had nothing but time, so I taught myself how to draw. I used to be one of the people that would say, I can't even draw a stick person. That was true. But after attending YouTube University, I found the confidence I needed to learn a new skill. Fast forward a year later, I challenged
What up,
myself
Omega
to draw a
Investments gave me
monster.
a tablet.
Now,
I need
this
to
monster
mess with my
was a
tablet.
chubby green troll monster, but he was cute. But it felt like he was missing something. So I took a long, hard look and I erased his eyes. And then I redrew him at the top of his head. And that was the birth of the first Glare monster. Growing up,
Right, man.
I was a huge collector of Pokemon and a big player of
All right, but we get the picture though. Yeah, so fully funded, nice campaign, 22K they got of $20,000 goal, and just an expert of this song.
Boom! Ah, you scared me. I'm just talking about the booster pack. Booster pack, what's that? Oh, what's this? This is Monster Glare. Monster Glare? Yes, Monster Glare. It's a brand new TCG. And you're gonna want to get on this thing. Check this out. They got decks, boosters. They even got their young coins. Money? Oh, well, no, check this out. It's not real money.
All right, but yeah, Monsters Glare. Dude taught himself how to draw, and now he's got his own TCG. All right, so $45 gets you an OP pack. Didn't go over the Gem Blenders rewards, but it is what it is. And yeah, check him out though. I like that guy. Made his own song. All right, then we got Monsters Crown, the second of the monsters tonight.
Monster Crown.
Okay, he made a whole. He's got a whole thing going on.
It all floated through my mind on a permanent loop. 2 years of wonderful development and constant thought later, I gotta say, I'm in love.
He's really got extra.
I have fought constantly to create unique,
Extra nice
fast-paced
4K
and
quality on
dynamic
his video.
gameplay interactions. The world has handed me a group of
All right, but check him out though. 19K, 13 days ago, 30K goal. I believe we'll get there. Booster box for $80. 2 theme decks for $35. And they got a whole deal. All right, let's check out this. Your boy Kodoke talking it up. Let's check it out.
Water creatures are on the Monster Crown video game, a wonderful land where the leadership is corrupt, the healing centers charge money, and the cute water creatures are The Monster Crown trading card game sees 2 monster tamers vying to become king of the hill in a knockdown drag-out spectacle. The goal is to make it so that your opponent has no monsters remaining on their side of the field. To play, each player needs a deck of 40 cards with no more than 3 copies of the same card inside. These cards come in one of 3 types: monsters, locations, and adventures. Monsters are, naturally, the core component of Monster Crown. Each monster can be identified by its name, type, combat stats, and crown rating, or CR. Once per turn, you may play a monster from your hand into any of your open monster zones, either face up or face down. These monster zones also have a crown rating, starting with 3 in the center and dropping down by 1 until they move outwards. You can technically play a monster into any of these 5 zones regardless of crown rating, but if a face-up monster is in a slot whose crown rating is lower than its own, at the end of your turn, it gets demoted to the next lowest slot. If a monster gets demoted while it is in one of the zones on the far end, it gets sent to the discard pile, and that monster's controller draws a card. But wait a minute, if we lose when there are no monsters on our side of the field, what happens at the start of the game? Ah, that precious time in a young tamer's life when they get their starting monster. Alongside your deck of
These are
40,
like
you
the
get to choose
evil
one starter
Pokemon.
monster. These
All
monsters
evil.
are identified by their starter icon and do not get shuffled into the deck. Instead, you pick one of these 5 starter monsters and place it face down in the center monster slot. These starter monsters all have a crown rating of 1, meaning they are stable in every monster zone. So how do we dislodge monsters that are in a stable zone? Why, through combat, of course. On your turn, you may choose any face-up monster you have in play to fight one of your opponent's face-up or face-down monsters. Exhaust the attacking monster by turning it sideways, then declare the type of battle you will be having. Monsters have 3 combat stats: strength, magic, and speed. When a monster attacks another monster, the attacking player can choose whether to have a strength battle or a magic battle. All right, let's go. I'll have Gollin start a magical battle against your face-down monster in the center zone. If the defending monster is face down, it gets turned face up now.
You fool! The monster you're attacking is my most powerful minion. Come forth, Bant!
Uh-oh. If the speed of the defending monster is higher than the speed of the attacker, the defending player can choose to exhaust that monster to evade the attack, ending the combat immediately.
Why evade when I can win? Now, Bant, it's time to show them your power.
When 2 monsters are fighting each other, you check 2 things. First, you check the combat stat being used, and then the monster's type. Monsters come in one of 5 types, representing their personality and fighting style. These types are brute, will, relentless, unstable.
And they have the paper, rock, scissors of Pokemon, so looks cool. And $35 will get you 2 decks and 2 pins, and $20 will get you 1 deck and 1 pin, and of course, there's shipping. All right, moving along, y'all can check it out. Monster's Crown and Woodland Wizards made 45K, triple their desired 15K they wanted. 2,000 backers, 33 hours to go. Jump on this if you so wish. Okay, no words with that one. All right, Woodland Wizards. In a long-forgotten forest surrounded by rolling hills and sparkling streams, a magical tournament is about to begin. The competitors are not your typical wizards, but tiny woodland creatures. They harness magic to summon the most majestic creatures in the realm. Creatures summoning creatures. Welcome to the world of Woodland Wizards, a card game for 2 to 6 players where you take on the role of one of the most powerful sorcerers to win the greatest tournament of them all, the Waterland Cup. 10 plus age, 30 minutes, 2 to 6 players. Contents: game box, 86 cards with beautiful artworks including 7 different forms of creatures. Plants are peaceful as long as you don't disturb them, but beware of their thorns. Beasts, being untamed and wild, is very useful to attack and defend yourself. Insects look scary and behave strange. As swarm, they are forced to be reckoned with. Sounds like Shard TCG with the insects, like that. Cool looking arts there. Birds are pretty deceitful and cheeky. Don't let them get the better of you. And the Phoenix is unique. Its unbelievable strength may be its greatest flaw. 15 strength looks like. Counts 20 at the end of the game. Reptiles, I'm sure that you take the creatures as your VP at the end of the game, it sounds like. Alright, pledges. 1 copy of Winterland Wizards with all unlocked stretch goals. $14? You don't say. $14. Okay, so $15, you get 1 copy of the game. Okay, you got me intrigued. $15. Gameplay. Let's check out the video too. Video is way too long.
Or the beasts or the birds. And she can draw through the pile and
Alright, second thought, we're not going to check out the video, but there's spells, there's passive effects, there's active effects. Might be something cool like Mindbug. And then how in the world? 1 second. Speaking of Mindbug, we have Mindbug. They've got a new expansion, Beyond Evolution and Beyond Eternity. Check out this video.
Nerd Lab Games and the creator of Magic the Gathering present the newest Mindbug experience, Beyond Evolution and even Beyond Eternity.
I'll solve the afterlife puzzle and prove them. My brain is the largest muscle.
I'll sail the seas of the unknown and find my cure to the
They have identities now. Zoom eternal energy. Most beautiful beat.
I am a robot who can shoot straight on the quest to find a mate.
One thing they could do is that field spell. Professor Gearhead.
Motion is what I mean.
And activate amazing abilities, actions. Okay, so it looks like they have actions now if they didn't already have actions. And then they got evolutions now, that's cool.
Are there new Mindbug cards? And new game mechanics?
Wow, you play that game too?
Silence! Concentrate on what is coming! Be part of the Mindbug journey.
Yeah, I got mine's on the way. And again, I can't say it enough, the Nerd Lab podcast. Great podcast for the game designers. Alright, so they made a whopping 300K of their desired 22K. Marvin Higgin. $39, and some shipping, of course, will get you the Beyond Evolution and Beyond Eternity expansion sets. They're probably standalone too, probably. I'm pretty sure. And then $61 will get you the deluxe edition. All right, moving along, we have Syn Souls. Syn Souls. Let's check out Syn Souls. 7,000 plays, over 90K goal, 18 days to go. They might have to go back to the drawing board with this one, but I mean, you never know. Each set will release alongside a short comic, which will be available for free on our website.
The world is singing. Can you hear it? So, you want to learn how Syn Souls works, huh?
Wish I could speed this
Leave
up.
it to me. First, let's get you acquainted with the playing field. Each player has a field, just like this.
Alright, you can see it if you're watching the video, but
over here,
if you're
we
just
have
listening to the
main
audio.
zone and the voice zone. The main zone is less of a zone and more of a
Alright, they're talking too slow for me, but there's a crazy battlefield out here. Play mad out here.
Boosting ratings, so be sure to experiment.
Some guys cost V dynamic and some cost C.
One-time effects can use a special burst card that can only be used once.
Burst card can be used once, victory. Alright, but yeah, check the video out on your own time if you wish. Alright, last Kickstarter, we got the Magi card game. Check them guys out. And they're actually based on a book series.
iMagi card game. My name is Sean Nathan Ricks. I am the creator, along with another couple of other noteworthy people who have helped out. J.C. Thompson, Mike Bruger, and the absolutely amazing
Looks a
person
lot
who
like
taught us what dragons
Magi
look like.
cards.
That'd be Rob Carlos. Now, the other people that I've mentioned, J.C. Thompson is my co-author. He helped me write the novel that the card game is based on. And then there's Mike Brugger, who is a creative genius. He also helped with the editing of this.
So the novel
here
may
video.
even be new, though.
Now, we are in full production. The Kickstarter here is going to help us reach more people. All of the artwork so far on these cards is by me, but Rob Carlos
Looks
and
just
Mike
like a
Brugger
magic
are helping
template.
out with artwork as we speak, and we have 10 other artists in the wings waiting for us to get big enough so that they can join us as well. Now, again, I can't stress this enough. This is an absolutely ready in production card game. What we need from you is to help us get more reach. We've got lots of great tiers, and if we meet our goals, we have lots of stretch goals. This is absolutely collectible. There are cards that are 1 through 17, and they're labeled. There are cards that are 36ers. There's only 36 of those made. They're labeled. And then there's unique, rare, uncommon, and starter
Serialized
deck
cards.
So, you can help us out. Take a look at every single...
Yeah, but fully funded. They got 8,000 of their 5,000 goals, 16 days to go, 21 backers. I got a playmat. It looks like they have Earth, Air, Fire, Water, Spirit in the mana roll. Draw, discard, in action. Looks to be very much Magic. A card, Master of Water. Master of Water has no cost to play. Force all opponents to discard all water cards in play and in their hand. Discard after use. So, don't see a casting cost for that, but there may be a spell. And while we're at it, let's watch that. Oh, there's nothing to watch. Yeah, so pretty much what I'm seeing is I don't see a lot of casting cost, but fan your discard pile in front of your opponent. You may just, it looks like a game where you'll just, like you have these mana cards, and then some of the costs are just getting rid of some of your cards. Discarding cards. Alright, and for the levels, $15 you get a single card. Pay $25, you get one box set, starter deck. Pledge $25, you get another starter box, and pledge $50, you get one starter deck, one expansion deck, and then you go $100, then you get 2 starter decks and 2 expansion decks and 3 expansion decks, whatever expansion deck means. All right, on to the game found. We have Caged In, an MMA card combat game, not really a TCG, but close to it.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the tutorial video for the newest game.
Good evening, fight fans, and welcome to Caged In. Brought to you by Foam Hammer Games, the makers of Book It, the pro
Yeah, this happened
wrestling
a second ago.
promoter
Somehow
card
there's
game.
2 videos playing right now.
Put on your gloves and step into the hexagon where you'll square off with your opponent in fast-paced MMA action.
I guess some reason they
Choose
autoplay
from
one
one
video
of
for
4
some
unique
reason.
fighting styles. Show your expertise in striking, wrestling, judo, or submission fighting. Play cards to punish your opponents or hold them back for defense and keep yourself safe.
But anyway, preliminary fighter, if you're into MMA, it's $35 for an early bird special. Maybe that's already done, but $40 gets you the full game, basically. Trying to see where that video is playing from. Can't see it.
Track damage and fatigue so you'll know what to
All right, but I give up. Yep, I straight up give up. All right, but anyway, and then for the last thing on the docket, we have Zataro. 2 players, playtime 2 hours, surely not. And it's a 10-can game. And $19 will get you the base game and something else. Well, 19 pounds will get you the base game. Challenge a friend to a duel and find out whose cards are stronger. Zataro Heroes, 100 unique and beautiful cards, 1,000 planned. And it has an app that goes along with it. 2 players, 2 phones, 1 step, battle, cards, statistics, shop, settings. But unfortunately, they've only got 53 pounds and 8 days to go, so they might have to readjust what they're thinking. But yeah, not really all seeing the gameplay. But anyway, though, that's been This Week in TCGs number 10. Come back in 2 weeks for This Week in TCGs number 11. Oyo Games. Like, comment, subscribe. Ciao.